Okay, I hope everybody is ready. Go ahead and open up the door. Hello, everybody, and welcome
Recording.
to Daily with Doc. And thank you so much. I am so thankful for my co-hosts here as we have this secondary
Recording in
option,
progress.
just in case. So, all right. So again, hello and welcome everybody to Daily with Doc. We are so happy to have you here, whether you are here live with us in the Zoom room, which can be accessed at dailywithDocZoom.com. That's ZOOM, dailywithdoczoom.com. We are here Monday through Friday from 12 to 12:50 p.m. Pacific time. So that is 1 o'clock Mountain, 2 o'clock Central, and 3 o'clock Eastern for those of you who are in those time zones. And if you are in the British Standard Time, 8 p.m. British Standard Time. So we are so happy to have all of you here with us today. For those of you who are on YouTube or Rumble or Facebook or any of the other platforms that we are now broadcasting on, you are welcome to join us as well. As here in the Zoom room, we do take people's questions by them raising their hand. So folks, if you're here and with us right now, raise your hand and raise it early. Don't wait until 10 minutes to the end. And then when I have 5 hands up, I cannot get to them all. So if you have questions, please raise your hand using that Zoom menu option that says raise hand. You might be able to find it under reactions also. But this program is being brought to you by Daily with Doc. Now, Daily with Doc is a website, dailywithdoc.com, that is put together as a hub for all of our recordings that we have been doing with Dr. Wallach, or that I've been doing with Dr. Wallach for the last 3 years. It's actually going to be exactly 3 years, starting the first Monday in July. Yeah, first Monday in July. So I'm super excited that we have had that longevity and relationship with Dr. Wallach that for me goes back more than that, over 7 years that I have been able to experience the benefits of all of Dr. Wallach's research. And I know for those of you who have tried the products and stuck with it, you too have reaped benefits from all that he has done in his short life here on earth, and especially what he's been doing and providing formulas over the last 30 years that have been able to allow people to get the nutrition that the body is starving for. Now, the content of this program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. Our products are not meant to diagnose, treat, prevent, or cure any disease, and the FDA requires us to let you know this. When you give the body what it actually needs, folks, the body can do some amazing things where we don't make any claims, whether it's health claims, financial claims. For those of you who are interested in the business, we don't make any claims. But folks, when you put yourself into it, you're going to get something out of it. That's just the way things are, right? In anything that we do. And we welcome you to consider joining us, whether you are looking for health alternatives to help make just a more complete diet, or if you're looking to add to your finances. There's a lot of things that can be done within the Longevity family. So as I take this time, I want to explain and share a little bit. In fact, we're going to use this whole opening this morning, going a little bit deeper into why Dr. Wallach's research is different. He was a pathologist, okay? So when I think of pathologist, I think of somebody that does autopsies on dead people just to confirm the cause of death. Well, he has gone deeper into that. And Dr. Wallach, if you could just share with us a glimpse as to what were you thinking? I mean, doing autopsies on animals and humans, that's not like a really pretty job. What drew you to this profession, and what has kept you going with it?
Well, it's a good question. It all started, of course, when I was 9 years old, and I was really terribly disabled, and it was a mess, and they were going to put me in an institution. It was really a prison hospital is what it was. Couldn't get out.
And question for you. You said you were disabled. Was that mentally or physically?
Both.
Both. Okay.
I was violent and mentally and physically disabled. I hurt people. Okay. And so the doctors couldn't figure it out. So they're going to put me in this institution to study me like a lab animal. And that didn't sound good to me. So I'm sitting on the end of my bed. It's Friday night. My mom and dad are packing my clothes because they're supposed to take me to this institution on Monday. And I'm saying, this isn't good. This isn't going to work. And so the next morning on Saturday, okay, the very next morning, I took my Wheaties and oatmeal and all that kind of stuff out and gave it to the chickens. And I went to the barn and I got her alfalfa pellets that were fortified with vitamins and minerals. And I put them in my cereal bowl, put milk on it, and have them, because I said the animals don't have my problem. So I ate their um, pellets, or alfalfa pellets with the vitamins and minerals added to it for breakfast. I did it again on Sunday. I did it again on Monday. And by Monday afternoon, at 2:30 in the afternoon, I was cured. I was cured in 2.5 days just by taking vitamins and minerals. Okay. Now I'm only 9 years old and I realized there's something going on here. And so when I went through school, and of course in Boy Scouts, I took all the merit badges I could that had to do with fitness and health and so on. My dad was a boxing champion and Golden Gloves. And so I went to the gym with him all the time and listening to all of these athletes and so forth. And so when graduation of high school came, I got into agricultural school because I wanted to come back and be a scientific farmer. And so I got into ag school and I got my degree in agriculture and I got accepted into veterinary school. And I didn't have enough money to pay all the tuition. So I got a job working in the pathology department, helping with autopsies. Well, it turns out on the Christmas holiday in 1963, a year before I graduated veterinary school. All the professors are gone. I'm there by myself. This farmer comes and he dumps 50 dead lambs on me. He says, okay, I have a problem here. Last night, all my lambs died. They were perfectly normal the day before. This morning, 500 were dead. I could only put 50 in the pickup truck, so I just brought 50. Did the autopsy on them. Their blood was black, not dark red, but black. And I tested it. They had nitrates in them. I said, well, what were they drinking? Well, we have a pond there. I said, well, are you surrounded by other farms? Yeah. What animals do they have? None. It was all crops. I said, uh-oh, I need, as fast as possible, I need a bucket full of that water from that pond. And the guy calls up, and within an hour, we had a bucket full of water from that pond. Tested it. Sure enough, it was really high in nitrates from the fertilizer from all these surrounding farms. So this was the first paper written on a mass die-off in America. It was well documented. And so I got it published, okay. And then Marlon Perkins, the old Mutual Omaha Wild Kingdom show, I was working with him at the zoo all the time. And so he sent me to South Africa to find out why the white rhino were dying. And there's down to just 350 left alive. And he wanted to know why they were dying and catch as many as they could and put them in zoos so we'd have some live, okay. Make a long story short, while I was gone, he takes my papers that I had kind of written and submitted for publication. And he took that paper and he got a, let's see here, say, $21 million grant from NIH, National Institutes of Health, with it. And he called me back and said, okay, you need to be doing autopsies in the big zoo here in Chicago, in Brookfield Zoo. Also, other zoos from around the world are going to send you bodies of animals that died in the zoo. We need to find out what's killing them. And we're going to use these zoo animals as like the canary in the mine. So if something catastrophic happens to the zoo animals, we know to evacuate the cities and so on. So that's how I got kind of started in this, was because all those dead lambs, 500 died in one night. That was a big hoo-ha. That was my first scientific paper when it came to that sort of thing. When I, let's see here, after that project was over, it was a 10-year project, I got a job as a pathologist for the Yerkes Primate Center at Emory University in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm working with the space monkeys. And I wasn't there but just a couple of months, and I found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis, thought to be a terrible genetic birth defect in humans, and did all my, cross my T's and dot my I's and everything, and showed that it was a very simple nutritional deficiency disease. And they fired me because they said, no, Wallach, everybody knows that cystic fibrosis, which everybody had agreed upon that my case was cystic fibrosis, for a variety of reasons, you know, the slides and so forth, everything was cystic fibrosis. But I said it was just a simple nutritional deficiency and we can learn how to prevent this, reverse this, and they fired me. So I had to go back to school and learn how to, I was teaching nutrition, and I said, I might as well get a degree, and I got a degree in naturopathic medicine, and that's how all this started. And so it's, you know, kind of a fast version of the story. But in 1988, I went to China with Dr. Milan, and I did 1,700 autopsies in Heilongjiang province at Qishan University. It was published in 3 languages, English, Mandarin, and Cantonese, which are 2 Chinese dialects, Mandarin and Cantonese. And that blew everybody's mind, okay? That I was there in China doing those autopsies. And of course, what I found was that the deficiencies were causing sudden death syndrome in humans and muscular dystrophy in humans, and also the cystic fibrosis in humans also cause the same diseases in the Chinese people. Okay, so they got published, and that was a big hoo-ha. Okay, and that began what we have now. Okay, that was 1988. And so it's one of those things where one thing led to another, and I cannot thank the teams enough, including Milan, because that whole thing, of course, then we took that information and with Jonathan Niemöller, a great attorney, we sued the FDA Food and Drug Administration 8 times, in federal court, won every time, and forced them to put these nutrients into baby formulas. And within 90 days, we stopped any new cases of cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, and sudden death syndrome, SIDS. The Muscular Dystrophy Association fired Jerry Lewis because he told them he had reviewed doctor's reports and he realized that muscular dystrophy was not a genetic thing anymore. It was a really simple nutritional deficiency. So the Muscular Dystrophy Association fires Jerry Lewis, shuts down the telethon, and he and his telethon had raised 2.6 billion, not million, $2.6 billion for the Jerry's kids. And they fired Jerry Lewis, put a gag on him so he couldn't say anything. And the story gets worse, of course. And it's one of those things where things just keep happening. Okay, well, today in today's news, Fox News, the Pittsburgh Steelers, just not too long ago, they won the Super Bowl, and one of their members of their team, Clark Hagens, was found dead this morning at age 46. And this is not unusual. We have so many young athletes, university athletes, Olympic athletes, professional athletes in their 20s and 30s dying. The average life expectancy of a professional athlete in America is 56.7. What? 56.7. Now, they're exercising. Yeah, but they're sweating out all their nutrients. They're only just drinking water. They're not taking the 90 essential nutrients to replace what they're sweating out. So they're dying of all these nutritional deficiencies. All this is published, okay? And so this is why we're going the direction we're going in, okay? We have to change the concept. These things are preventable. These things, if you catch them, well, people are still alive. They're reversible because they are simple nutritional deficiency diseases. And when you look at the people who live a long time, you go back into the Bible, the Old Testament, okay, which is what, 3,000 years ago, and they talked about the land flowing with milk and honey. Adam lived to be 930, Noah lived to be 950. Let's see here. Methuselah lived to be 969. There were many, many angels who lived in the lands flowing with milk and honey, who lived to be 800, 700, 600, 500, 400. And what was it? Well, I wanted to know, was this cow's milk? Okay, was this goat's milk? What kind of milk was it? Turns out it's glacial milk. We have a book, it's called Rare Earths, and chapter 10 is entitled Glacial Milk. It goes into all these places where people live a long time. In the Old Testament, the land flowing with milk and honey has 21 stories, which there's 2 paragraphs or 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs, a couple of pages, 21 stories, and 100 mentions of the land flowing with milk and honey as a place where people live a long time. Okay, that chapter 10, and Becca's holding the book up here, Rare Earths, okay, chapter 10, and it's entitled Glacial Milk. And we actually have in there the, what should I say, the actual analysis. Yeah, the analyses of a bunch of glacial milks from around the world. You can see they're significantly different. Some have 4 minerals, some have 18 minerals, some have 25 minerals, some have 50 minerals, some have 75 minerals, some have 100 minerals. And it's the ones with 75 to 100 minerals that are in the places where people live the longest. Okay, this is so well documented. Even governments around the world have published this, but it goes back, you can't deny that much exposure given to this information in the old Bible, 21 stories and 100 mentions. Okay, so there has to be something to this. And so we're working hard to, and we have 600, we deal with over 600 different diseases. We have 5,000 products, and what should I say, we're working on another segment now. It's all in your head. Okay, the book deals with the osteoporosis of the skull. Okay, osteoporosis of the skull, and I guess it's 37 different diseases that you can get from osteoporosis of the skull. Okay, there you go. The top skull is normal, 1/4 inch thick. The bottom skull has osteoporosis, 1.5 to 2 inches thick. And so we have this working with us. And so Rebecca and Milan and I have worked on this very hard. And so now we're working on another piece, okay? The other piece we're working on is to make sure that we have everything necessary to add 25 to 50 healthy years to people's lives. And so this is our project we're working on right now. And so we hope you get involved with us. And one of them, of course, that we're kind of excited about is what goes on up here, okay, in the brain. And, you know, it deals with all this stuff going on in the brain, the myelin, the insulation material in the brain. And so I get so many arguments from so many doctors and people who are in the industry of pharmaceuticals and so forth. Well, that can't be true. Okay, well, it is. And so we keep working on it. And we have projects coming. We have projects right at the beginning. And we have projects we're still, you know, writing applications for. But this is a big deal. And so I'm excited about it. What do you think, Rebecca?
Well, there's a lot to be excited about, Dr. Wallach, because these are things that are simple, yet the medical establishment is making them so difficult, even difficult to get the news out. So that's where we are here as a resource that allows you to let people get plugged into information with the history behind what our program is all about and how it came to be, with that research that Dr. Wallach has done that goes through and shows that there's a relationship between nutrition and poor health conditions.
And lack of
So
nutrition. Yeah.
lack of nutrition.
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay, well, this
absolutely.
here, Jean Kelman from France died in 1997 at 122. This is a picture of her when she was 111. She lived 11 more years after this picture was taken. And I thought she was kind of being cute here with her shoulder level dress. Her dress is pulled up above her ankles so she can show her legs off a little bit and show her shoulders off. And she's 111 years old, Jean Kelman from France. And she's the oldest documented person in the industrialized nations. Now, the oldest people on Earth are not from the industrialized nations. The Hunzas from the Himalayan mountains. Their life expectancy is 120. Many live to 130, 140, 150. Okay, and that's because they're getting this glacial milk. Okay, from the Himalayan mountains. They're using it to irrigate their farms. They're using it to drink. They're using it in their food and their cooking, and their coffee and whatever. And so getting all these minerals that are coming from the mountains, and that's why they're living to be 120 plus. Okay, and so we've accumulated all this information. We have, I don't know, 123 books. We're working on a couple of them right
Not
now.
123, just 23, Doc.
Oh, did I say 123? No, just 23. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's 23 books. And so the information is there. The information is there. And so we're looking to build this army. Okay, we're looking to build this army so that we can get the information out and save as many of God's kids as we can save. Okay, and so if you're interested in adding many healthy years to your life, to your family's life, to your community's life, contact us. And again, I'm going to give out some number here, Becca, so we can get some callers and we'll answer some questions.
All right. Well, Dr. Wallach, for those of you who are plugging in and listening to this program, make sure that you get back with the person that shared this program with you. They cared enough. They took the time. They invested just that few moments that can be life-changing and worth so much more than just a few moments of time. Get back with them and say, thank you for sharing this program with me. I want to know more. We're going to be sharing more here on dailywithdoc.com as we do each and every weekday, except for the few exceptions. Dr. Wally's getting back on the road, so there's going to be some times where he's not going to be able to make it because we physically don't have Wi-Fi or something like that to keep him. But if we did, rest assured, he would definitely be here. Now, Phyllis made a comment, Dr. Wallach, and she made a statement of truth that says he knows enough to fill 123 books. So that's for sure. For those of you who have nobody to thank, and I'm sorry, bunny trails, if you have nobody to thank, get to dailywithdoc.com. There you will find, again, the replay of all of our programs that we've been doing for the last 3 years. You will also find a store and a contact option. With that contact option, it does send us an email that we can get your questions answered and also get you connected with a certified health coach if that's what you would like. And make sure that you sign up for our newsletter. Sign up for a newsletter because we're not going to bombard your email with a bunch of advertisements. We do simple emails with information that is contributing to knowledge that helps you be an empowered individual. We also are sending out a link with descriptions to each of our previous week's programs. So as you are going through, you can see a description, you can find out, what was talked about in that program. You can even do a search. The way I'm putting in the descriptions, you can do a search on your email for specific conditions. That email will come up as long as you don't delete it. And then you'll be able to have that video to share with other people. And that's what we're hoping that you do. Share this information with others. We want to reach around the world. We want to share the empowerment that we each have within us when it comes to our food. And as I was thinking, you were talking, Dr. Wallach, watering the plants. It takes more than just liquid water. There has to be something in that water that then allows those plants to flourish beyond what nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus supply to the plant. But
That's a
that's
good
all
point.
that they need. We need more.
Yeah, no, that's all, you're exactly right. Plants only require 3 minerals. We require 60. Okay. And so when you get like the glacial milk from the Himalayan mountains, and I'm sure that these farmers didn't know all the science and everything behind it. That's just their only source of water. And they're putting it into their gardens, they're irrigating their gardens, they're making their food with it and so forth. They're drinking it as their water source. They're getting all these minerals. And they're 120 years old and they still have the same hair color they had when they were 10 years old. Okay. And they're still physically active as a 18-year-old would be. All right. And so this is something that we all have the capacity to do that. Now, this all changed, of course, at 3:00 in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, and when the switch was pulled and electricity was started. Okay. Thomas Edison, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, and when that happened, suddenly now our source of minerals we'd had for thousands and thousands and thousands of years went away because we were using wood ashes and coal ashes as our fertilizer for our gardens. Now, we didn't know why the wood ashes and coal ashes increased the yield in the gardens, but that's what people were going for, was the increased yield. But they didn't realize that the vegetables were sucking up the minerals that were in those wood ashes and coal ashes. They're eating those vegetables, and that's why they lived longer back then. Okay, that's why they were healthier back then. Well, once they had electricity, there's no more wood ashes, no more coal ashes. So suddenly now our source of nutritional minerals that we had had for thousands of years went away. And doctors would say, oh, just eat well, you get everything you need. Don't waste your money on vitamins and minerals. And any doctor who says that should need, at the minimum, go back to school. Okay.
Take a
Okay.
nutrition course, folks. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
I have a really good one with the Institute of Holistic Health.
Well, there you go. And I'm so proud of the holistic coaches. We have some great stuff going on with some diseases that are, thought to be genetic and all this kind of stuff. And can I even mention it? Yes, no? Okay, I can't
No.
mention it. I can't mention it yet. Just that's a hot
No,
subject.
but what I can say, Dr. Wallach, is you're one of the founding fathers of the science of epigenetics.
Mhm.
Epigenetics has proven the theory of genetics to be incorrect as far as the transmission of disease. And he's one of the founding fathers of it. And this is all based on his research. I've got that book right
Okay,
here.
there you go.
So, we get every day, Dr. Wallach, we have somebody writing in and just thanking us. They no longer have this, they no longer have that, they're no longer, experiencing these different things. And folks, we can't make health claims in connection with the longevity products. Your body can do some amazing stuff. We just got to make sure that we're giving it amazing stuff so that it can thrive. And through the science of epigenetics, Dr. Wallach has proven that what you put in your body and what you have in your surroundings is going to affect how your body's going to respond. And I think that is just absolutely fabulous, Dr. Wallach, because that's exactly what I experienced, and many others as well. So we do have hands up. I want to make sure that we get to these hands. We do have a question here. And Nicole is asking, does longevity have glacial milk?
Absolutely.
It's not called glacial milk. What's it called, Doc?
Okay, it's called our plant-derived colloidal minerals. Okay, it's the glacial milk. We have 8 sources, including some from the Himalayan mountains. We have 8 sources. We have them from some places located in the United States. Okay, there were valleys millions of years ago. Okay, and all these minerals coming down from the mountains as glacial milk a long time ago, and they accumulated. Okay, and we're mining them, and we have this glacial milk in these minerals, the 75 minerals. Most people, when you buy a mineral product, you're going to get 8 minerals, 6 minerals, 3 minerals, 5 minerals, 10 minerals. Ours never has less than 75 minerals, because the origin is glacial milk coming from the mountains, being ground up by the glaciers. Okay, and all these minerals coming down, and in the United States, they used to call it bottomland. At the turn of the century, 1900, when we had gone to electricity 18 years before that, they started making dams to make hydroelectric. They dammed up all the rivers and they shut off the bottomland. They shut off the nutrition to the bottomland. So bottomland is no longer valuable like it was prior to these dams, hydroelectric dams, to make electricity. Once they started making electricity and damming up the rivers, that shut off the bottomland. So even food grown in what had been historically known as the bottomland is no longer bottomland, because we've shut off the water supply from the mountains, which had the minerals in it. Okay, so the only way we can get them now is in our jugs and jars and powders and capsules, and we have it in solid powder. We have it in our rebounder. For instance, the sports drink, which is the biggest selling sports drink in the world, is Red Bull. It has 1 mineral, magnesium. Our rebound, and we have it in the chewables, capsules, powder.
No, rebounds, powder and liquids.
We have it in powder and capsules and liquid. Okay, of our rebound sports drink, and it has 75 minerals in it. Now, in my math, 75 minerals is more than 1. Okay.
Yeah, most definitely.
We actually made the first rebound for Theo Ratliff, one of our great professional athletes. He was only 24 years old, and he lost his $35 million contract to the Atlanta Hawks because he had bone-to-bone arthritis in his knees. He had bone-to-bone arthritis in his hips. He fractured his shooting arm wrist and his right arm, so he couldn't even shoot a basket. And so we came up with the first healthy bone and joint pack for him, because our healthy start pack is our basic core product, the healthy start pack. And then we had added to the healthy start pack, we added the glucogel to it. That was our first attempt at making a collagen product. So we added the glucogel to it. So the healthy start pack became the healthy bone and joint pack for him. And it worked so well, he came back and he played for 11 more years and made $100 million. That's not bad.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Well, let's get to the first hand that's up. And Phyllis, I know you have a question for a client. What is your question for Dr. Wallach?
Yes, and hello, Dr. Wallach. Always really good to see you. We have an email question from Miriam, and we don't know her age. We don't know her height and weight. So this will be a general question. Number one, she's had breast cancer 3 times starting in 2009. And due to having had radiation, 30% of her upper right lung was damaged. So that's the first thing. The second thing is she was diagnosed last year with severe allergies and something I had to look up. I'm sure you know what it is. It's ABPA, which stands for those who don't know, including me, allergic hypersensitive reaction, or sorry, allergic bronchopulmonary aspergillosis, which I found out is an allergic or hypersensitive reaction to a fungus found in soil. So maybe going by 100 pounds of
Okay.
body weight.
Sure.
We don't know her weight.
Okay, let's get at this because we only have a little bit of time here. And so let's go per 100 pounds of body weight. She's get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no brown oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go, and carbonated water because they neutralize stomach acid, so you cannot absorb food. Well, per 100 pounds of body weight, she needs 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month, which is our basic core product for people with these multiple problems. This is going to help her enormously. It has 215 nutrients. The core is still the 90. She needs 2 bottles a month of her MSM per 100 pounds of body weight because of her 3 bouts with cancer. Okay. She needs 3 bottles a month. So she can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. And this is going to support her immune system. Okay. And build her bone marrow and white blood cells and antibodies to go and kill and eat cancer cells. And then we also want her to, let's see here, take our oxybody. I take an ounce of oxybody at breakfast, an ounce of oxybody at dinner time. Okay, just get more oxygen. Okay, she needs that. And let's see here. I would also, to support her immune system, I want her to take, gosh, I would have her take a rebound. That's going to get her another 100 nutrients. She could take 1 dose of rebound per 100 pounds of body weight. If she weighs 150 pounds, she could have 2 rebounds a day. Okay, that's going to give her 100 more nutrients twice a day, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. Again, that's going to support the immune system. But getting rid of the bad foods is important to maximize absorption and to stay away from inflammation, which inhibits the immune system and so forth. So keep us informed. Call us every couple of weeks, so let us know what's going on. Okay, Becca.
Dr. Wallach, did you mention Z radical?
I did not. But yeah, well, I also take Z radical. I take an ounce of that twice a day. Okay, it's made from seaweed from an ocean. Okay, and so it gives you all these weird trace minerals from the oceans and seaweed and so forth like that. And so, yeah, she could, per 100 pounds of body weight, take 1 ounce of the Z radical per day, take a half ounce twice a day if she only weighs 100 pounds. If she weighs 135, 150 pounds, take an ounce twice a day of the Z radical, but it will support the immune system. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. And for those of you who are not familiar with fucoidan, I encourage you to go to pubmed.com and look up fucoidan and see the benefits of fucoidan and what it's been used to in so many different health conditions.
I take 3 of the fucoidan twice a day, along with my 3 Oceans Gold twice a day. They come from 2 different oceans.
Yeah, and we have it in the liquid. It's in our liquid product, Z Radical, and it's in our capsule product, Fucoid Z. So I take both of those as well, just for its amazing information. Yeah, it's information that it gives the body so that the body can do what it's designed to do. Now, Raphael in France, he has a question. Wants to know simply, Doc, what is your favorite health cuisine? Especially, you mentioned the Asian cuisines. What do you like about it?
Okay, well, it's easy to be gluten-free eating Asian cuisine. I have my breakfast, for instance, this morning was soft scrambled eggs with cheese, had a roast chicken breast. I had, let's see, what else did I have in there? Oh, I had some, it was fruit, was it?
Blueberries?
I'm sorry?
Blueberries?
Blueberries, let's say, yeah, blueberries, okay? And
And
then
rice?
and rice. It was actually kind of a rice cake, okay? It was butter on it, real butter, not margarine. And then, of course, I had all my supplements for my breakfast. For lunch, I'll have, another kind of Asian meal, a lot of rice. There's no gluten in rice, okay? And so I eat a lot of rice and beans, as the Asians do. I do eat fish. I eat salmon. I eat cod. I eat catfish and trout. Okay. And so it's one of those things where I'm kind of eating that direction as opposed to eating burnt bacon and, fried bacon and that kind of stuff, which has many negatives.
Yes, it does. All right. Thank you for that. Let's go, Nicole. I don't know if it was the question that you had, but go ahead and unmute yourself. You're on live with Dr. Wallach. Actually, Nicole's question was about the glacial milk. Go ahead, Nicole.
That wasn't my question though. I actually called for a friend about her 5-month-old little boy. He's 16 pounds, has been in the hospital for a couple nights. They've done an EEG, nothing came up. He had high potassium levels. He's been having shaking fits. They said possible seizures.
Okay, that's kind of a good timely question because we're dealing with diseases that cause tremors and stuff like that. We're dealing with those kind of diseases, okay? And we're working on some research in those areas. And there's all kinds of diseases. I don't know if you ever heard of a famous baseball player, Lou Gehrig. Okay,
Yeah.
Lou Gehrig's disease. And Lou Gehrig's disease in every other country in the world, okay, is called ALS, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. Now, if you listen to those 3 words, amyotrophic, okay, lateral sclerosis, ALS, amyelin, meaning loss of the white matter, lateral, which is the outside layers of the spinal cord, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, and that outside, instead of having the normal covering of the nerves in the spinal cord, it's made out of connective tissue, scar tissue. So ALS, and in America we call it Lou Gehrig's disease. Very famous first baseman baseball player, and everybody knows Lou Gehrig's disease, but everybody thought it was a genetic thing. No, it's a simple nutritional deficiency thing, and we're working on that real hard to put together a program for people with Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, and many other diseases that feature the loss of myelin, the white matter, the brain and spinal cord. I'm not going to go into those because I'll get slapped and kicked and thrown down the steps, and so I'm not going to say those diseases, but they all kind of fit in the same line, in the same category, okay, of a deficiency of a tissue, okay, and so we're working on that hard. And I think, within weeks, we're going to have a great story. I'm very excited about this. It kind of falls into that same history of the muscular dystrophy of Jerry Lewis with the diseases in the monkeys and in the Yerkes Primate Center. It's supposed to be a genetic birth defect, okay, and it wasn't, okay. And then it's one of those things where we're working in this direction, and I know we're going to excel. We're going to find all these little pieces that put all the answers together to solve these problems. I've done it before with cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, and Sennett syndrome. When Dr. Milan and I went to China, we already knew the answer. But when you do 1,700 autopsies, you get the data from 1,700 autopsies published, okay, from a big university in China, Qishan University. 1988, you cannot dismiss that information. So it prevailed. We prevailed in federal courts with that information. Okay, and it's one of those things where we're doing the same thing now. We're gathering all this information. We're making sure that once we get it all together, it'll be unimpeachable. It'll be unimpeachable. It'll be just everybody has to say, well, that makes sense. Okay, because it will make sense. And we have a history of doing this. We're going to do it again here. And so we're very, very excited about this. So keep in touch because we need to know how this child is doing. But we have the kids toddy. I get that kid on kids toddy. Okay. We also have the EFAs and EFA pluses. And wouldn't hurt to throw in again some cherry mins. Okay, it's 1 ounce per 100 pounds of body weight. So if the kid weighs 20 pounds, it could be 1/5 of an ounce. Okay, and that's easy to measure. Okay, and so the human body, as it's growing and developing, requires these nutrients. Okay, just like when you're building a house, you can't just say, okay, build. Well, you need all the brick and the mortar and the boards and the nails and electrical wires and all the pieces that go with it. Well, the same thing is true of the human body. When you're growing and just even surviving and living and repairing yourself from the days being in the environment, you need these raw materials to maintain and repair yourself on a minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day, month by month, year by year basis. Okay, so did I answer that correctly there, Becca?
So do you have a liquid EFA, or he's only 5 months old?
Yeah, we do have a liquid EFA. It comes in soft gel capsules. Just puncture the capsule and squeeze it into the
Okay.
kids' toddy. Okay, and
Okay.
kids like it. Once they get to be 2 years old or so, they'll chew them up because they like to squish that little soft gel capsule. But before that, you just puncture the capsule, not the kid. You puncture the capsule and squeeze into the kids' toddy. Okay, and we came up with that when they stopped making kids' baby formulas because they ran out of the raw materials. So we came up with our kids' toddy to provide a
So
kids formula.
could this be an allergy maybe to some formula or something he's taking?
Probably not.
Okay.
It's more like a deficiency.
Okay. What about, so does he need the kids toddy and the cherry mints?
Oh yeah,
Or
that's what no, add the cherry mints to the kids' toddy. Absolutely.
okay. And then the EFA is perfect.
Yeah, exactly right. That'll cover the territory.
Okay. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Great question, Nicole. And
Yeah.
so you can even squeeze the contents of the EFA directly into the mouth. You start getting absorption as soon as it makes contact in the mouth. Under the tongue is where the vessels are closest to the surface, where things start to absorb very quickly. So that's an option. And then the cherry mints, 6 months old, you got a bottle, just put a little splash in there. And folks, for those of you who do not know, 1 ounce is equivalent to 2 tablespoons. When you're here in the US and you're working with tablespoons and ounces, it's 2 tablespoons for 1 ounce.
I want to throw something in there. If the woman is breastfeeding the baby, she needs to be taking all this stuff to make sure that all these 90 essential nutrients are coming through the breast milk into the baby's mouth. Okay.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, perfect. Thank you so much. And Dr. Wallach, let's go ahead and go to David, who is here with us. David, you're
Hi, Dr.
online,
Wallach.
Dr. Wallach.
Yes, sir. How can we help you?
My wife and I have been following your recommendations for osteoporosis of the skull. But there's 2 things that really bother her. One is she has these ugly yellow pussy sebaceous sacs under her eyes. And she started to have losing her hair in the back, thinning hair.
Okay, now is this in the skin or is it coming out of the eyes?
It's underneath the eyes and the skin.
Okay. How much does she weigh?
100 pounds.
Okay. Does she have any other issues? Any high blood pressure, diabetes?
No.
Okay. Well, to make it quick, she needs to get rid of all the bad foods, no fried foods. You have to eat the same way. Okay, because you will use the same washer and dryer, sleep in the same bed, sit in the same couch, all that kind of stuff, right? So no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, barley, rye, and oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the diet drinks got to go, and also the carbonated water. Okay, because club soda neutralizes stomach acid, so you cannot absorb minerals or digest food. You cannot even have club soda. You can have water. Okay, you can have our Rebound or sports drink, which has 100 nutrients in it, no carbonate. We have the powder and the capsules, and then we also have the can. The can does have carbonation. So you got, if you're gonna drink the cans, which I do at home, I'll pop the tops in 2 of them at night, put them in the refrigerator, so they're flat in the morning. I'll drink one for breakfast, a half of one at lunch, and the second half of the second one during the afternoon. So I'm getting all that, but all the carbonation is gone. Okay, when I'm on the road, I take the sticks with me. There's 30 of these sticks. This is, you add this to 1 bottle of water that has 100 nutrients in it, 75 minerals and 25 vitamins, amino acids. There's 30 of these sticks in a box, okay? And so it's one of those things where in some countries, they don't allow our cans in there. So we have the canisters, okay? Okay, the canisters as well as the sticks. There's 36 servings in the canisters, okay? And so then we have hair, skin, and nails. I'd have her take 3 doses of hair, skin, and nails a day, 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. It'll be 3 bottles a month. They're tiny little bottles, and the hair, skin, and nails. And you know, I'm 84 years old, and I think I have pretty good skin for an 84-year-old guy. Okay, and so it's one of those things. I'm taking all this stuff that I'm recommending for your wife, and we put this together because the skin is 2/3 of the skin thickness is connective tissue. It's the same stuff your tendons and ligaments is made up out of. Okay, same way with your digestive system. Your stomach and your intestines has a lot of connective tissue involved with holding all the muscles together and making the tubes and all that kind of stuff, right? And so we require these things, and you know, many people they limit their eating to very small amount of stuff, or it might be oatmeal for breakfast every morning, or having buckwheat pancakes for breakfast every morning. Those will kill you because they have phagopyrines and gluten in them, all of which damage your intestines, so you cannot absorb nutrition. And the first place it's going to show is the place you see, is the skin. Does your wife have any white, gray, and silver hair?
Yes, but since we've been on the program, her hair color has started coming back.
Oh, the hair color's coming. Okay, so she's absorbing. That's a good thing. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign. She is getting something absorbed. Okay, but she does need the hair, skin, and nails to
Okay.
kind of, and don't forget the, I also wanted to have the collagen peptides.
We're
Take a
both
scoop.
on that right now.
Okay, good. Scoop of that with a morning drink, with their evening drink. And don't forget the Rebound or sports drink. And so let's go there and then call us every 2 weeks, because she's going to have a great story. She's already seeing hair color coming back. She's absorbing, and this is going to be a great story. Okay.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Doc.
Well, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you, David and Dr. Wallach. It is time for you to say adios, my friend. We will see you tomorrow.
Adios, amiga.
Adios. And folks, we just want to say thank you to all of you for taking the time, being empowered, and investing in yourself. So as a reminder, and as I read this, if I could get my co-hosts on with me, that the content of this program is to provide nutritional education information only. This program is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician. The FDA requires us to let you know that our products are not meant to treat, prevent, diagnose, or cure any diseases. But again, folks, we are empowered individuals. You do have options available, and we are honored that you have chosen to plug in with us to find out what some of those options are that are easily attainable. And they're backed by one of the founding fathers of the science of epigenetics. I just want to do a huge shout out to everyone that's paying attention to this program. You have information that is more valuable than 95% of the people on this face of this earth. Share it, share the value, because you taking that little bit of time and sharing this information with somebody else could benefit them more than any dollar would ever represent in anybody's life. And that's through finding a different health journey. I want to thank my co-hosts, Phyllis Anderson, as she is she's been with Dr. Wallach the longest of my crew, and she is just absolutely fantastic at all of the time that she has dedicated, the thoughtfulness that she puts into this whole crusade and being here for so many years. So thank you, Phyllis. Thank you for being on part of this team and just giving of yourself and your time to such a great cause. And Sherry Browning, coming from another health institute where she has been coaching people a long time, but didn't have the nutritional solutions that have been offered through longevity. So now in her coaching, she's able to offer even more. And folks, if you're in a situation like that, where you're already coaching people, you're already in a therapeutic modality or an alternative modality where you are touching people's lives and making a difference, make a bigger difference. Add the longevity nutrition to what you do, and you're going to just see your clients flourish even more. So we encourage you to get back with the person that shared this program with you, or go to dailywithdoc.com, use that contact option. I also have a call team available for those who have never spoken to anybody about longevity before. You've never purchased a product. Feel free to use that phone number, 855-949-3377. I also want to thank Marilyn Pizzera. She has been taking all of this information and just given her all in her typing skills. Or is it Phyllis today that's doing all the typing? I mean, we have two incredible typists here that help on this program using their skills to make sure that you who are here with us in the program are getting the information that you need so that you can be empowered as well. So thank you, Marilyn, for doing that. And for Sportus, AJ, who has been helping me here, making sure that we have all of our technical things, all of our technical ducks all in a row, making sure that everything is going smoothly, also keeping track of our platforms out in YouTube and Rumble and Facebook. And I think Phyllis does that as well, helps with that, and keeping that conversation going so that, folks, we can create an environment that is easy to be within and focus on the learning and the content. So thank you so much, AJ, for doing that as well. And for all of you that are here watching, thank you again. And thank yourself for investing this time and getting information that you can actually put into use. Again, get back with the person that shared this program with you. If there's nobody to thank, go to dailywithdoc.com, use that contact option. Come, and everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome to join our newsletter and get information that way as well. Make sure if you're out on YouTube, Facebook, or Rumble, or any of the other platforms, that you follow us. Click that subscribe option so that as we're putting out more content, if your notifications are set so that you get notifications when we go live, you won't miss it. So everybody, my name is Becca Dukes, and I just thank you so much for being part of an amazing community of individuals who know the value and what we put in our lives, inside and out. Till next time, bye for now.